Hey guys, hey there, hey, I'm BunnyMightGameU, and this is episode 19 of Girls Can't Geek. I am joined by a very, very special bunch of guests today, the first of which I've always been talking about on the show and pretty much everywhere else. My favorite person in the entire elementary school system of the world, Miss Elie. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. I'm Miss Elie. I have the proud honor to say that I was her teacher twice in the first grade and in the fifth grade. And amazing, brilliant.
We are like friends now. Isn't that crazy? Like we're actually friends. I love it. I also have here a great friend, a fellow queen, Miss Alexis Jones. Say hi to everybody, Alexis Jones.
Hey everybody, this is Alexis Jones. What it do?
Alexis is amazing. She is a LA Sparks WNBA champion. And I am so esteemed and honored to be able to say that we are partners in the Queens Gaming Collective, which you should be checking out at Queens GG on all social platforms. Check it out. And we also have a very, very special, super talented lyricist, recording artist, and businessman extraordinaire, Mr. Doc Cromwell. Introduce yourself.
What's up, y'all? What's up? It's Doc Cromwell. Bunny pretty much said everything. I'm just a creator of all things and originally from Philly, and yeah.
Well, it's interesting you said that. So everybody, Doc Cromwell's from Philly. Alexis Jones is from Texas. Miss Nancy Elie is from New York City by way of IEC. And of course, I am the all-around city girl from New York City by way of DR, which is kind of shares the same exact island as IP, better known as Haiti in the United States. I wanted to introduce you guys to these lovely three people today because I wanted to discuss in this episode 19 the culture of basketball within the Blerd community for boys and girls in the hood. And as you know, we are all from the hood, aren't we, guys?
Yeah. I'm from a couple of places.
We have come a long way, but one thing about us, I will say, is being in the Blerd or Afro-Latino community. It is one of my biggest things to be able to give back. And even if it's just a little bit of education, a little bit of motivation, and all of the Asians, so that you guys can be able to kind of be educated on things without feeling like we're stuck in that stereotypical vibe. I wanted to ask some questions for our guests, and I wanted to start with Doc Cromwell. So Doc, okay. You're on the hot spot.
Okay, that's good.
Take a sip. So I wanted you to do us a favor and describe the Philly, what is it that you guys say, young bull dynamic with respect to, sports, even gaming and the street.
Yeah, I mean, Philly, we got like our own slangs, I mix them up sometimes now because I've been in New York for like 10 years. So like, I'll just be like, oh, this is mad drawn. You know what I mean? Just like mix them together. Like, hopefully, no one holds me accountable for it. So it's usually cool when I go back home or whatnot. But Philly was just, I was there for at least like, the first 23 years of my life. It played a big role in just who I am musically. And I don't know, it's just like in that city, like definitely like the folks there. The one thing I just always notice about people from Philly is that there's just a lot of, they tell you exactly how it is. You know what I mean? Like nobody's holding any punches in Philly, and there's just like that kind of like, sometimes it can be mistaken for like aggression. It's like this borderline between like aggression and passion, and it kind of just happens like in all different avenues. So like, even like, you mentioned like sports, like that was something that like we were heavy on, especially with like, we had AI. You know what I mean? Like we had AI on the Sixers. I came up in that, and it was like that kind of like, it was different for me because it was like, I was little when Jordan was playing or whatnot. So it was like, I was like coming of age when AI was playing. So it was like, he brought like the culture, you know what I mean? So it was like, I remember like wanting to get my hair braided because of AI, you know what I mean? And then like watch him step over Buddy in the finals. That was kind of like vicious. But yeah, Yeah, it was just like, that was something that played like a big role for us in Philly. When I was younger, I played basketball, before I found music. I remember like, like being on the teams. We won like a few championships, like when I was like little, like in middle school or whatnot. But like before I got to high school, I had already figured out I wanted to make music. But I just remember that being a thing. Like we would like sit in the crib, play NBA Live or NBA 2K when it was like super hot outside during the summertime. As soon as it cooled down, then we go to the courts, play till the lights turn off. So it was just like that was just always like part of the culture. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why people in Philly, they know how to box or they know how to play basketball or rap forever. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I answered you, but that was kind of like what it was kind of like.
Well, when you said you dabbled a little bit in basketball and then you moved and transitioned into lyricists and recording music. What did it take for you to decide to make that transition? Did you feel a way? Did you feel like maybe that would kind of rub people off the wrong way since you had chose to be in sports for a while and then change that dynamic?
Now, you know what? Basketball is kind of like something like, it's almost like a rite of passage. Like every single person played it. You know what I mean? It was just a thing that just happens, especially like in the communities that we come up in. You know what I mean? It was like, that was just like a natural thing. It's just like breathing. You know what I mean? So like with music, it was one of those things where, man, I had started off because I remember like, I want to say like my first tape was like Mace Harlem World or like Puff Daddy No Way Out. And I remember like listening to it and like hearing like them do like ad libs. And I didn't know they were ad libs then. So I'm listening like, how are they doing this? You know what I mean? I remember like getting like a second tape and getting a karaoke machine and like overdubbing myself and recording. I would like cut out construction paper and like make my own CD covers. And it was like, I just got curious into that. But it's like basketball and rap would still play hand in hand. Cause it's like, while we're going to the courts to play basketball, maybe I'm not running full court games anymore, but I might be like, all right, we playing pig or we playing horse, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm still coming up with raps while I'm playing. It's like, it kind of goes hand in hand. And you see that now. You see like NBA players who rap, you know what I mean? Rappers who want to do rollouts that have to do with the NBA, you know what I mean? So it was like, it wasn't like really like any static when I kind of like was like, all right, guys, like, I'm not really trying to like go for varsity or anything like that. Like I'm trying to put out music. So it wasn't really.
You said something interesting.
What's up?
It stuck out to me. You said, all right, guys. Were there any girls?
Yeah, so you know what? Yeah, I mean, different time period, but yes, there was one woman I remember, she lived on Venus Place. It was a block out in Penrose that I used to be around. Yeah, there's like 3 blocks out there that are all named after planets. It's pretty dope.
Which I love that. It's like that in the Dominican Republic too.
I haven't thought about that in a long time, but like that might have something to do with like my infatuation with space and whatnot. But yeah, I can't recall her name, but I just remember there was a young lady out there. She might have been like maybe like 4 years older than me or something like that. But she played basketball, and it was interesting because it was like, I don't know, women were always kind of like, when I was growing up during that time period, they were treated like, separate. Like women, they're out, they play double dutch, we play basketball, they play this, we play that. And it's like, there was always kind of like gender norms almost associated to like things that we would do just to have fun. But homegirl was like, nice. You know what I mean? Like she used to come to the court and like ice niggas. Like it was like, she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse or whatnot.
Niggas could rock. They know we said it with love. They gonna rock with it. Niggas rock with it.
But yeah, she used to come play ball all the time and like really like, people were like, at that time people were like, oh, she probably can't ball or whatnot. But like she would just be trashing people. And it was so interesting because I would notice that there's like a certain level of respect that was held to her because she carried herself that way. Like you would see someone like maybe like a woman who were doing like certain things that like, according to certain gender norms or whatever, like men would just act the way they act towards them. But with homegirl who played basketball, it was like this level of like competition almost. Like it was like support. It was like a lot of respect because it was like, all right, cool. She just beat me in basketball. You know what I mean? It's kind of different. I didn't remember a bunch of them coming up, but it was like during that time period, there was definitely one that stuck out and she was nice.
Wow. Speaking of one that sticks out, I have to pass the baton over, or pass the rock rather. That's how we used to say it in New York growing up, playing ball in the streets at the Rucker, on Dykeman, and everything in between. We would have to pass the rock. So I want to pass the rock over to Miss Alexis Jones, and I would love it, Alexis, if you could just describe for me and the rest of the listeners out here in Girls Can't Geek Land, what's the Midland, Texas dynamic, or your experience rather, with respect to being a girl, being a woman within the sports and esports, you know, gaming kind of motif, but then also in culture of the streets. Like, what's that experience like?
Well, like growing up in Midland is like it's just like a small town. It's like a small city. Everybody, we all know each other, and like my daddy just tried to just get people from like getting out the hood, and the Boys and Girls Club was like he wanted that to be people's safe zone, and I just knew like I was always around people who was, they weren't like what they call it the bad people who were getting trouble because they were just lower class. So, but he used to always just bring everybody to the Boys and Girls Club, and we just would play sports. There'd be basketball, pool, hockey. He'll make sure all the kids do their homework after school. He'd pick kids up from the school, and that's where I just grew up. Like that's when sports just became like everything. Like I was just doing it, and all I knew was just I loved to go to the Boys and Girls Club and just have fun, because that was my fun. Like that was when I was like having so much fun at the Boys and Girls Club, and I just kept it going ever since, and I just never gave up. And and then once we like got older, he kind of like he didn't want us to stay in Midland no more because he wanted us to grow and expand on who he was. So we moved to Dallas, and that's when I just kind of just kept doing me. When he got into the car wreck and stuff, I just kept it going. I just never stopped giving up. I just kept pushing and I made it to the WNBA.
You like your daddy.
Congrats.
Nonstop. I love it. What was the culture around Texas and within the sports community? You said that there was a lot of making sure you did your homework first, parents making sure that there was a place, a safe haven for you guys to go. What was the dynamic between the boys and the girls in the Boys and Girls Club? Was there a lot of competition? I mean, it could even be like competition on the court, or maybe even competition socially in a cultural way, like, oh, he got the new Jays and I don't, but I got NBA Live and he don't. Or like, yo, I'm sick with The Rock and you not really, but just because you're taller than me and you a dude, you could get away with trying to clown me. Like, what were some of those type of dynamics? Because I'm not from Texas, but I love Texas.
Well, it was just like, it was our boys and girls. Like, if you hoop, like the guys didn't care. Like they knew you was gonna be good, so they let you play. They'll play with you, they'll play against you. They wouldn't taking it soft. We get into fights with boys, we'll push them down, get mad at them. We was just being kids back then. So it was just like we was all competitive. Like you walk in that gym, nobody's trying to lose at nothing. I'm not trying to lose at pool. I'm not trying to lose at ping pong. I'm not even trying to, like we play dodgeball. That's when, it get real in dodgeball.
Yeah, that's
The
intense.
dodgeball, it gets real. So, yeah, so we love to play dodgeball. And my daddy just always had like a saying for like when we left. And he just would like have this saying for us is like, when, like the Boys and Girls Club was always a positive place for kids, and that's all I remember. And he always made us and repeated, like we'll sit down in a group and he'll talk to us, and then he'll have this saying, and it'll be like I can't remember the whole thing. I need to ask him before I leave, but I know the ending was just like the Boys and Girls Club is a positive place for kids, and now that I grow up, it's just like it's not the same no more how it used to be. Like kids don't get the same experience. Kids don't get to have fun. Kids don't even know what having fun. Kids don't even know what Foursquare is. Like we used to play Foursquare, even got in tetherball. Like it got real, So that's what I just knew, and that's what I grew up in, and I just knew that that was my way of escaping from doing something that I wasn't supposed to be doing. I was just head on strong, and I just knew, and I fell in love with something, and I kept going. And my daddy and I had good parents that kept me on the right track and just kept my mind going.
I love it. I'm going to pass the rock over to Miss Nancy Elie. I just wanted to say the reason why I am a girl, a Blerd girl who is into just as much into the geek stuff and the nerdy science fiction and the reading and the fantasy and the technology and all of these awesome things, just as much as I'm into all of these aspects. The reason why I started getting into basketball is because Nancy Elie would talk to us about the finals and the playoffs all year round. Nancy Ellie's the sibling of none other than NBA championship player, okay, Mario Elie. So what's that like? Like, I don't even know how to thank you enough for that. What's it like to be able to say, like, you really shaped a lot of the kids' lives that you educated, not just within the scope of their intellect or their vocabulary or whatever they might have taken away in an educational standpoint as an educator, but also shaping them in terms of culture and sport.
Well, I think it has. You're talking about the Boys and Girls Club. My older brother trained Mario. Okay, I was born here, Mario was born here, but my parents are Haitian. So my older brother couldn't go to the park without taking Mario with him. And there's a 9-year age difference. So Mario was playing basketball with 20-year-olds when he was 11.
Dang.
Okay, so by the time Mario was like 16, he was playing with Earl Manigault. I mean, street legends in New York, because I know all the street legends in New York. You know what I mean? So
real street ball where they really pass the rock.
Right?
You heard of West 4th Street in the Village. Harlem USA, which was my brother's team, won it like 10 years in a row. We had like 10 TVs, VCRs, bikes, because every year they would give, Kenny Graham would give like gifts to the winning team. And my brother always won the MVP. So because of my older brother, Clark, who was a street legend, and Babito, Cool Babito, and Stretch, we talk about music, that's when it came together. Babito used to make the music in the park, and to this day, he has a 3-on-3 tournament in the park with his DJ skills and basketball. So if it wasn't for my older brother, Mario wouldn't be where he is today. So, and you're talking about challenging, that's it. Mario was like little skinny, go out there. My older brother said, yo, you better be a man. Go out there if you want to play basketball. And he trained him to be tough because there was a 9-year age difference. So imagine he's playing at Power Memorial. You know, he was a star. He was with Chris Mullins at Power. I went to every game because my parents were like, I don't want to go see no basketball. I said, Mom, it's basketball. He's like, he's a newspaper. And they're like, yo, I'm tired. I'm gonna cook dinner. You could go to the game with your brother. So I went to the game. I went to every game at Power Memorial with Chris Mullins, went to Chris's house. I mean, you know, it was a different era from what is going on now. I think AAU has changed basketball a lot. You know, it's become more of a business, and you have like LeBron being taken up by Nike at 11 and being sponsored. Back then, it was like, yo, if I want the rock, if I want to make it, I have to fight for it. So I think it was a different culture.
I can see it.
You know what? It's funny you say that, because one of the reasons why Mario Elie was put on some of the teams, I think it was the Spurs. Remember the Kiss of Death? Yeah. First of all, let's talk about the Kiss of Death. Listen, the Spurs was not a team that was known for that 3-on-3 pass the rock or lay down or stay down New York nastiness. So they signed Mario Elie literally because of the way that your older brother Clark was able to kind of instill that street ball in him. He was a small forward. I didn't even know what that was until I met Miss Elie. When I was 14 and I moved along to junior high school after I graduated from your 5th grade class, I wanted to play basketball. And the junior high school we were in only had cheerleaders for the basketball team of boys. And you know who changed that? This guy. Because one of the things, Miss Elie, I definitely have one of these on me. And I told them as soon as I got to the school, hey, we're going to have a basketball team. And they're like, didn't you just try out for cheerleading? And you made like the bench. You're like on a booster squad. I was like, first of all, they're going to put me on the court as a booster. I'm going to be on the top of the pyramid. Check that off the list. Pictures to come soon after, you guys. And following that season, where I did actually get to, work it out and be a part of the actual squad, I fought my ass off. These niggas didn't know what the fuck to do with me. I was in there. I was like, Miss Elie said I could be a small forward. I don't gotta be afraid, and I don't gotta be a point guard. Pass me the rock. And I told you about this one time, Lex, when we was talking in LA. I said to you, I have a teacher I want you to meet. And Dot knows whenever I get a chance to talk to him about the Philly versus New York City Chronicles, and I kind of fill him in on what it was like in New York growing up, I always have to mention, without a doubt, Nancy Elie, because of the way that you shaped what I already had, that I was already working with as a brown girl that was into things that girls are not, like you're saying, that by gender supposed to be into, you know? And it's like, if it weren't for Miss Elie being able to articulate certain things, I wouldn't have been as confident. I would have just been talking shit out my motherfucking mouth, like, well, bitch. I think no, it was an amazing experience to be able to have a woman, a brown woman, be so articulate and tough and just have all this, like Dot was saying, misjudge aggression that really comes from passion. It stems from a place where I could always feel that she was teaching me the way she had wanted someone to teach her. Do you agree?
You know what? In a way, because my mother was very passive aggressive, because traditionally Caribbean mothers are like that. But at the same time, coming from Haiti, like we never believed in public education, because the public education doesn't exist in Haiti, really. So the minute I got here, my mother put me in private school. So in private school, I always knew that if I had education, and they always instilled that to me, if I had education, I could put everybody in their place. And the other thing is, I think when I came to America, I'm Haitian, and I'm so proud. I love the fact, I know my history. You can diss my country as much as you can. We know we're a fourth world country. We know we got everything fucked up, but you know what? We kicked the white man out in 1804.
Not on my show. We don't talk shit on my show. Everybody on Girls
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying.
I'll be ready to.
Don't even play yourself, because when I went to your hood, they were insulting me all the time. The Dominicans were insulting me all the time, and I had to put them in their place. I remember the first year. I'm gonna tell you this story. This is a funny story.
I love it. Teachable moment time with
By the way,
AI. I know, a real teachable moment. I'm enjoying this because I ain't never heard it. You know, I ain't
by the way, P.S. Whenever my brother played Philly with the Rockets or whatever team he was playing with, I always went to Philly to watch AI. He's one of my favorite players. When I sit down and watch him, I've never seen anybody faster than him. Crazy. It's such a bad thing that he never won a championship, but he really is. He's who he is, and you can't. But that's a Philly story. Anyway, the first year I went to work at the school, and I'm light skinned, and my last name is Elie. So the Jewish teachers came up to me and said, "Yo, are you half Jewish? Because you speak French, you speak Spanish, you speak Italian. Are you Jewish?" I said, "No, I'm not." Then we got the Cubans. That's Cubana, because that's how their accent is. And I said, no, I'm not. And then the Puerto Rican said, Boricua in the house. And I said, not Boricua, sorry. The African American said, are you a sister? They were old school, seriously. They used to wear white gloves. That's how old, I mean, really, she used to wear white gloves. They were from the old school. Are you a sister? I said, no. And then Dominican, I was a bilingual teacher. I was a Spanish teacher when I was there. So I went to a meeting. Okay, I went to a meeting, and then finally this Dominican woman turned around and said, Coño, she cursed me and she goes, damn, bitch, what is it? You're not Cuban, you're not Puerto Rican, you're not Dominican, you're not Black, you're not Jewish. What the hell are you? And then I said, I'm Haitian. She goes, oh my God, but in my country, all the Haitians are monkeys.
She said the word monkeys?
Monkeys. Todos los haitianos son monos. And I turned around and I said, but don't worry, because in my country, all the Dominicans are whores.
Talk about it, bitch.
Everyone in the room was quiet. Everyone in the room was quiet. Okay, you can't insult my people. So from then on, I was like, forget it. They said,
Never.
but you don't look Haitian. I said, how do Haitians look?
Haitians look like they kicked out the oppressor 2 times. That's what Haitians look like. Talk about it. In case you guys didn't know, like, really, I don't remember the word. What is it? Like, it's not xenophobia. It's like, it's ethnocentrism on the island of the Dominican Republic / Haiti, which originally was called Haiti, which is the Arawak Taino way to say Haiti. Haiti was the name of the entire island before the colonizer decided that they would split it in half because some of the family and the European elitists spoke French and, you know, flew a French flag. Some of the other family members, their cousins were Spaniards, and they flew a Spaniard flag. And because they had to divide it up, they decided that Haiti would be divided 2/3 to Spain and 1/3 to France. And France couldn't handle it. I would say they did a poor job of being able to keep the rock moving up and down the court, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's a teachable moment. I tell people all the time.
There's always been a problem with the Dominican, even when I go to the Dominican Republic, they always tell me, oh, you know, no parece haitiana. You know, my hairdresser is Dominican. She goes, are you sure you're Haitian?
That's what she said in Spanish. No pareces haitiana. You don't seem to look like you're Haitian. And it's like, what are we supposed to look like at this sense? It begs the question, at what point is it that humanity as a whole is going to stop the perpetuation of the stereotypes? And it's this narrative that the colonizer, which everybody in Girls Can't Geek Land knows that we are about taking away and breaking those stereotypes that the colonizer has imposed upon us. I'm very happy to be able to say that that's part of what we do, among other things. And everybody on this panel today, from Alexis Jones to Dr. Cromwell to my teacher, Nancy Elie, has done immense work and just tremendously difficult work, staying the course, not giving in or giving up at times when y'all out there would have gave up, because we be thinking about it like, maybe I should give up, but no.
Alexis, Alexis, I don't know about you, but when my brother made it to the NBA, they had to find out how to pronounce his name. And then someone actually asked him, said, please don't say that you're Haitian. Because at that point, that was when they said that the Haitians gave AIDS and all that other stuff.
Oh.
They were like, I was like, my brother said, no, Mario Elie, that's a Haitian name. I'm a Haitian, you know. He's taken my nephews and my niece to Haiti to work in an orphanage, sleeping on the roof with mosquitoes, and coming back to Houston, Texas, in Memorial, okay, in Piney Point, next to all the really bougie neighborhood, and the kids come back saying, "Yo, I'm really a fortunate person." And my sister-in-law sent him to Audi, which is a French school in Texas, so they could speak French, so they can be proud of being Haitian.
I love it.
If you know where you're from, I think in this country, like if you're proud of who you are, people cannot destroy you.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So what? I'm from Manhattan, Upper West Side. What is it? Throw it at me. I got you. You know, what are you gonna throw at me? You can't do shit. You know?
Yeah.
That's who I am.
What do we have in store for us coming from you, Alexis? First of all, where can people in Girls Can't Geek Land find you? And where will they be seeing Alexis Jones doing her thing next?
Oh, I'm glad this is a good phone call too. Because I just got a job, literally, not even, that's like crazy.
Oh, praise God.
I do. And yeah, I'll be going to Spain soon. So I don't know when. So I'll probably be it's like a small city though. So I'll be in like Cáceres, Spain. And
I love it.
yeah, so I just got the job.
Sounds like a class trip. We're getting the passports ready. What happened?
Well, I know I'm gonna need y'all. I don't speak Spanish, so.
We got you.
And they speak nothing but Spanish. I've been there before. They do not let you bypass without knowing some Spanish.
I know, and they're so snobby, but it'll be
They
fun.
are so snobby. Like, and I've been here before, so I'm like, I already know what I'm about to get into. I'm like, you know how when you're ready for something, but you know if you're ready for it, like you know it's gonna happen. Like that's how it kind of feels.
Yeah, I have to speak up on that too. I have, Spaniard great grandma and great grandpa, and I kid you not, I love you, Spain. I love you, but you gotta stop with the snobby. And Spain, you guys know you're snobby. You come out here and you do it on purpose, and you smile at me when I tell y'all in your face, stop being like that. And you be like, oh, it's especial. Like, you just gotta stop, Spain. Be a little, come on, it's 2020.
You just developed a list because the king spoke with a list. So everybody had to learn how to list because to make the list, to make the king happy, really?
Okay, talk about history lessons. Okay.
That's a real history lesson.
Jesus.
Okay.
To satisfy a king, everybody had to learn how to speak that way. What kind of stuff is that? Really?
And they called it castellano because that's castellano. So you can ask Miss Elie or ask me. She taught me all of it. Okay.
And I was speaking, they said, you speak Puerto Rican. I said, no, I don't. I speak Spanish. You speak with a list from a king.
Okay, from the oppressor. Talk about it. Okay, so next up, I want to know, Doc Cromwell.
Yeah.
Everybody in Girls Can't Geek Land is curious about you and wants to know where they can find you and what's next for Mr. Doc Cromwell.
Well, I mean, it's Doc Cromwell on everything. On every platform, on everything. Google me. I'm already in 2021 right now, so
there you go.
Literally, you're literally in 2021, and you're in a soundtrack for 2021. I want to hear about that too.
Oh yeah. So right now I got one of my records, Mood, is on NBA 2K21 soundtrack, which is which is fire because like I grew up playing that game. You know what I mean? Like we talked about.
I'm gonna be on it for sure.
So, yeah, word. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Like
2K21.
So yeah, 2021, I'm just focused on like more syncing, more of my music just popping up in like movies and TV and film. I always try to make music that feels like anthems and feels like a soundtrack to like life. And I'm down here in Atlanta right now in the creative house. Me and my couple of producers that I work with, we built out a creative house down here. So,
I was about to say your color's kind of cool back there too.
Yeah, you feel me? Like I'm trying to get like Philips Hue to like sponsor the kid,
You got the headband on, you got the bandana on too.
It's a thing. So I'm working on 2 projects that I'm gonna drop next year, and I'm gonna start out the gate 2021 cooking. So yeah, man, Doc Cromwell on everything.
You gotta join Alexis and I on 2K.
I love this conversation.
Yes.
Because everybody's like, Corona, what? Yo, we're talking about 2021. What's up? We're moving along. What's up? Forget about it. Ain't gonna stop us. That's what I'm talking. That's the hustle. That's what you learn in life. You can't let stuff block you. You got shit to do, and you're going to do it.
Right, that's a fact.
Got to keep the rock moving up and down the court.
That's it. Keep those passes going. Don't even sit still.
Miss Elie, I love you.
I know. Me too.
I gotta let you know that. I love your energy.
Well, you know what? If I ever I have my cousin lives in Atlanta. If I ever go to Atlanta, let's go out to dinner.
Bet that.
Yes.
Bet that.
Yeah, and we'll see you in Spain, Alexis Jones. Don't play yourself. We ain't afraid of Castellano.
Barcelona. I don't know if I'm gonna go to that small town.
I know. I gotta meet y'all. I get on the tram. I know how to get there. I know how to get there. Yeah, I know how to get there.
Elie, Nancy, Elie, tell us what is on the menu for you in 2021. What are some of your 2021 jewels and gems and just moments that you want to be able to pass along to us? If there's anything that you want to tell everybody in Girls Can't Geek Land, what do you feel that we should know about what 2021 means to Nancy Elie?
You know what? The last 8 months, First of all, I'm gonna tell you, I retired from teaching to take care of my mother. My mother has Alzheimer's. She's bedridden. So I left my apartment. I came to live with her, and I've been with her for a year and a half with everything going on. But she's doing really, really well now because she has me. So I'm really happy about that. You never tell that I'm going through a lawsuit with my apartment, but it's okay. All good, because you know what? I think life throws you things, you always have to overcome them. And they're teaching you a lesson. So what I've learned from everything that has happened to me is that there's always a solution. You know, you have to think outside the box. Because I think people try to put us in boxes. This is how it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. And it's supposed to move around in a straight line. Life is not linear. Life goes like this. It throws shit at you all the time. If you're not ready for it, you're not ready for life. So in 2021, I expect more challenges. I expect to learn more lessons, you know, but I expect to be the best Nancy Elie that I can be.
Hey.
I love it.
That's all I want.
I want to just say thank you to Nancy Elie. Thank you to Alexis Jones, and special thank you to Doc Cromwell as well, because I know whenever you guys hear Girls Can't Geek, it's like, wait, I'm a guy. So just thank you all for joining us, for dropping knowledge to the Girls Can't Geek land listeners. I want everybody to search for Doc Cromwell's music. Just Google Doc Cromwell on every platform. I want everybody to check out Alexis Jones. All you got to do is Google Alexis Jones and she'll come right on up. And definitely hit that like, subscribe button, comment, send us your feedback, send us messages to Miss Elie. You know, she's always on the line with me. She always on the jack. She always ready to pass the rock. So from me to you, I'm BunnyMightGameU, and this was episode 19 of Girls Can't Geek. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.